Hello, everybody, and a big blessing to everybody listening to this. And I'm really praying that this word will be a tremendous encouragement to you. It's been quite a recent word, but I really couldn't wait to share it. I'm just so aware that so many of the saints are in darkness and oppressed and at the end of their strength, and we're all needing to know what exactly is the Lord doing, what is he expecting of us at this time. And while I was praying, I suddenly saw this picture like a film opening in front of me. And I hope, like me, you like looking at the sky. I know I do. I like the sky during the day. I love the stars and, the planets by night. I really, really do. We need to look up these days to see what's going on before we begin to try and sort out the problems of this earth, I think. But when I looked, it was as if I could see heaven and like the hand of God reaching down. And if you just try and visualize this, in his hand, he had a mighty rainbow, like he had an arsenal of rainbows. And one by one, he was launching these rainbows like missiles. And each time a rainbow hit the earth, it was like the earth shook. And there were more and more and more of these rainbow missiles hitting the earth. Now, I'm quite aware that the rainbow today is being used for a lot of things that I would personally consider to be improper, but this is coming from heaven. And I asked the Lord straight away, what is happening? How does it affect us today? How does it affect my positioning in the Lord? How does it affect my battle strategy? How does it affect myself, my loved ones, my community? And I think it's for all of the nations. And I know that recently I have been totally amazed about the number of rainbows that are appearing one after another. Some of the most stunning ones I've ever seen in my life. And I know a lot of you, it's just the same. And of course, before you say it's because you live in the North End, yes, I know that. I've lived here for a very long time. But I know that people far and wide are saying, how many rainbows, one after another? So what exactly is the Lord doing? And what he said to me, I want to teach my people to fight with covenant purposes. And I thought, wow, now this sounds really, really interesting indeed. He's reminding us of covenant promises. He's opening a future for us well beyond anything I think we could ever possibly imagine. And it is just glorious despite the current darkness. And a rainbow is quite a transient thing, isn't it? If you want to take a photo of it, you have to get out the car very, very fast before it begins to fade and disappear. But beautiful they are. And certainly God wants to say something a lot more deep than I'd ever thought. Usually when he grabs my attention like that, I leave it for a while and then suddenly I begin to realize. And God is throwing these rainbow missiles, with absolute purpose. And it seemed like a determination that was coming from heaven. And I felt him saying, this is a reminder to his very tired and embattled people that he is faithful, and we are absolutely fighting for those covenant purposes. Now, I want us to go into the Bible, of course, no guesses for where I'll go first. And it's in Genesis 9, where the rainbow is first mentioned. And of course, it's Noah after the flood, where there's the most beautiful promise where God says, I'm setting my rainbow in the cloud. It shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. And actually, the rainbows I saw, they were striking the earth. And he says, every time that there is a cloud passing and a rainbow appears, I will remember the covenant between you and every living creature, and the earth will not be destroyed by a flood, even though we've seen absolutely huge floods. And it's all flesh, by the way. Remember, the nation of Israel didn't exist there. We didn't exist there. It's all flesh. And every time the rainbow appears in the cloud, you look on it and you'll say, God remembers that everlasting covenant. And I just think it's absolutely amazing. And to me, the Lord was grabbing my attention about his covenant purposes. But I have never, ever, ever, thought of rainbows as being missiles, as being weapons. If you listened recently, you know that the Lord gave me a word that he was going to arm our sword. And I think we must be in a season where he's giving us a different perspective on his arsenal of weapons. And personally, I need them because I know I can go no further forward until the Lord really thoroughly arms my sword for this season. And I'm very interested in these missiles, but fighting for our covenant promises, fighting with our covenant promises. It's a new way, I suppose, of doing warfare. It's interesting that the fear at the moment, of course, is that nuclear war could at some point break out on the earth. But here, God always has the truth behind what can happen on an earth that has become desperately wicked. And we are called to partner with the Lord. And what I realized he was trying to do was trying to put these rainbows into our hands, training us how to do what he already knows, what he established in the earth. And if you have a look at Revelation 4, you will see there, after this fantastic vision that are there, that verse 3 says, he who sat there, God on his throne, was like a jasper and a sardius stone in appearance, and there was a rainbow around the throne, in appearance like an emerald, like a green rainbow. And I know I'm fascinated with the colours. Why was it green? Why wasn't it indigo? Why wasn't it any of the other colours? And it obviously means, around the throne of God, his government is in action. This is my belief. I submit it to you. And you're quite entitled to go to the Lord and to his word for yourself to find out. I believe that this is to do with the seven spirits of the Lord, and that they are linked to the rainbow. And that the Spirit of the Lord that was being actioned at the time when the Apostle John saw this vision was the green, but it could appear differently if you saw a different moment in heaven. And I think it must be amazing, and I'm certain the Lord is going to show us more. So there are certainly rainbows in heaven. It's just this one appeared to be green. I don't think it's green all the time, actually. And I thought, Lord, okay, well, I've never gone to a rainbow training school before to teach me to fight with rainbows. If you try to put a rainbow in your hand, it'd be like trying to hold a waterfall in your hand. It's pure light, and it wouldn't work. But I thought, Lord, the word obviously means more than I have thought. And of course, in Genesis, it says, God says, I will put my bow in the clouds. And in actual fact, what is exciting for me this stage is just to make the connection between the fact that a bow can also be a bow that you would fit an arrow to. So it's definitely a weapon of warfare. But the bow is composed of the covenant purposes and destiny and promises of the Lord that we are actually using in our current day warfare against all of the evil that the enemy tries to bring against us. And if you have a look at 2 Samuel, you'll know these scriptures, but try and see them differently. And it's verse 34, and it's praising God. We've just been saying here in this chapter, who is God except the Lord? He's my rock, he's my strength, he's my power. He makes my way perfect. And he makes my feet like the feet of a deer, and he sets me on my high places. He teaches my hands to make war so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. Now, I don't know about your arms, but mine certainly couldn't bend a bow of bronze. But what I need to know is which arrows do I fit to the bow? And now it seems like that bow of bronze has become something akin to the promises, the covenant promises of the Lord, which are like weapons when they're sent to the earth. And he's teaching us to fight in a way that we have never fought before. He's saying to me, he's training us to fight with and for our covenant promises. He's causing us to remember. He's causing us to remind him. It's not as if God could possibly forget, but we need at times to remember that he wants us to say in our prayer, Lord, do you remember this? And I believe in this day, I'm studying it still further, and perhaps there'll be a further video about this. I am believing at this time, he's showing us how to bend things with a strength and a purpose we've never had before, giving us that determination, giving us a volley of arrows coming from that bow, fitted with his promises. There's a war going on, isn't there, over covenant promises. The enemy is an obstacle and tries to make us draw back. He brings the darkness. But when that darkness clears, when the cloud is there, the rainbow appears. And we can say it's beautiful, it's pretty. If you look at small children, it's one of the first things they see. And how many school children will paint the rainbow? But Lord, I am praying for all of my friends who are watching this video that the Lord will help you to look up, no matter what your battle currently is, that he will encourage you, that he will train your arms as well to bend that bow, armed with his covenant promises for you, the prophetic promises that have come from him over the years for your life, for your ministry, for your calling, for that of your family, your nation, your churches, everywhere that bears his name, that you will be strong and determined. God never gave up. He was sending rainbow after rainbow. And as we do this, as those arrows of covenant promise fall, the earth was actually shaking. And I pray for you all that the earth will shake as you open your mouth and as the Lord arms you with the correct arrows in this season. And I pray that you will be mightily blessed as I was when I got this word, and that you will go out, that you will look up, that you will smile, that you will enjoy the beauty, but that you will go into that beautiful warfare. That means that those promises, those covenants are recognized, and that God's first purpose would be realized on the earth and in the heaven. Amen. And be very, very, very blessed.